Now it's on. Okay, good morning, everybody. We're going to get started with this because we have a lot of great presentations for the morning. But so as Mr. McMullen talked to you the other day, spoke with you, today we're speaking about the Poole grants and also the Paige grant. And remember, these are fellowships that are available for everyone from freshmen, seniors, not for you guys anymore, but freshmen, sophomores, juniors can all apply for a Poole grant for service or conservation or protecting the environment in any way, and also the Paige grant that's focused on medical experiences, research. You'll hear about a variety of programs this morning. So anyway, remember you can apply for those. The details are in an email, so think it up.
Hi everyone, my name is Lydia Go. I'm a senior and I will be the first Poole grant recipient to talk today. So this summer I did my program back home in Moldova, and for those of you who don't know, this is where Moldova is. And side note, do not believe Google Maps, because it definitely takes more than 12 hours to get there, and it costs more than $600, just because our airport doesn't have more than 4 gates, and there are very few flights who have the connection destination as Chisinau, my home city. And this is exactly where the school that I worked in was. I would go there by bus every day, and it definitely took about 40 to 45 minutes, not 18 minutes, as it is written here. So it was very hard to get up in the hot days of June, but I think that the effort that I put in and definitely the happiness of the children was worth it. As part of my Poole grant, I did help at a summer camp back home, and I was actually a full-time translator for most people around me and also a facilitator for arts and English. Now, for those of you who don't know me, I really, really adore languages, and my favorite moment was when I got to translate in English, Romanian, and French at the same time for a sports competition between students from Moldova, England, and France. I definitely was very proud of myself. But the really exciting part came with my second project, which was a creative writing camp that I directed with 5th graders. So how does one really start with teaching a bunch of 10-year-olds in a very hot room without air conditioning about creative writing? I think the secret to that is that you have to get them up, keep them moving a little bit, and then hopefully they will become interested in your work, in your project. They would want to glue pictures together, they would want to build metaphors, and they would want to participate. One activity that was definitely everyone's favorite would be to start thinking about letters in someone's name and building comparison. Such as Ana începe cu litera A, acum să găsim două substantive care au un adjectiv care încep cu litera A. That is, in English, Anna starts with an A. Now let's think about an adjective that starts with an A, and now let's think about 2 nouns that have that adjective in common that starts with an A. Now, my other thought is that kids really liked that activity because it was right before our cookies and soda break, and everyone really, really loved that. The culmination of the project was this competition for storytelling, and we actually got a storyteller's chair in there to sit, and the kids definitely enjoyed it a lot. I told my students to find a surprise element in their work, something that could inspire them, because I believe in healthy competition and also in individualism. We had dancing numbers, we had poems, we had drawings, and we definitely had a lot of teamwork. It felt definitely very nice to be rewarded. I will not lie. One of the students made me a best teacher certificate, which was definitely at the top of my accomplishments for the summer. But the real happiness came in by small bits, such as when kids would say bye at the end of the class day and thank you, or when they would stay after the program and help you clean the desks and the classroom. The amount of talent that the students had really made me think to give multiple awards for their hard work, and they came along with a book donation. I think that everyone left for home very happy and definitely not empty-handed. As for me, I took the bus with the hope of returning next year at the same school and knowing that now I have many memories to share. I would like to think that this project, in fact, was not born of mere chance. I think that writing is a gift that some of us have, but it is a gift that definitely needs much improvement every day. When I look back to my small class, I see kids who like books just as I do, and would definitely benefit more from encouraging their passion. Moreover, I decided to do my program in Romanian because, not only because it is a language that is easier available to kids as they speak it every day, but also because it shows them something that gets often lost in the myriad languages that they have nowadays, something that is very important, their native language. I would like to thank the Poole Grant family for the support given and also encourage everyone to apply to this project because the Poole Grant really enables strong individuals to make the change possible in small communities and also helps them understand many things about themselves in the process. Mulțumesc. Thank you.
Hello, hello! Wave in the back if you can hear me. Yeah? Oh, sweet, thanks. Okay. Let me get the thingy. All right, if you guys have been around me in the past 6 or so months, you've probably heard me mention Berkeley once, twice, or if you live with me, about once a week. I've been looking forward to getting up here since the 3rd week of July because the Poole Grant allowed me to spend 3 of the best weeks of my life at the Center for Talented Youth Civic Leadership Institute of 2015. What is civic leadership? It's not just about one leader. It's about a lot of people coming together to create change for the common good. All of my classmates wrote those down, and it just shows the diversity because we wrote I love you in about 7 different languages. There's probably more, but just not written. Ooh, that's too far. All right, so what did we do? The program uses really intense service learning to explore complex challenges through the lens of urban poverty. Yeah, we had a few in-class writings, a few debates, actually, I take that back, many debates, and a couple tests, but we also had some really, really powerful speakers and nice seminars. Most importantly, we used what we learned in class to serve Bay Area communities in need. This picture is from my dorm view. It's of the entire Bay Area. It was sick. These are the goals of the program. I'd like to think that I've completed all of these goals. I know that's not true. I know there's a lot of work to be done, but this program really, really inspired me to get that work done. This picture is from our first service trip. These are a bunch of my classmates, and the man has been repeatedly kicked out of the San Francisco subway for playing music, but that's his only way to make a living, and so he keeps going back and going back. He doesn't have a choice otherwise. And so when we met him, he was really kind and shared with us his story, and we got to take a picture with him. And he really serves as an inspiration to all of us to make change. Okay, what is service learning? There's a difference between community service and service learning. Community service, everybody knows you serve soup, you raise fundraisers, that's doing service for people. What we did, service learning, is working with the community in a partnership to help them solve their own problems. My class, B Squad, because we were the most bomb, best class ever, and we were also class B. Not only were we all super tight with okay, delayed joke, yeah. Not only were we all super tight at the end, but we also had some seriously brilliant conversations and revelations together. We began with asking what is social justice and what is a community, and to give you guys an idea of what kind of debates we had, we spent 4 hours on that second question. It was really, really interesting, I promise. We also tackled poverty and injustice and addressed power and privilege by discovering various parts of our identities, defining privilege, and defining racism. By the way, racism is the system of advantage based on race. And by definition, one group must have systemic privilege over another to be racist. So, fun fact, there is no such thing as reverse racism. Just food for thought. All right. We also discovered through lots of discussion what a leader is. And we realized that leaders have developed qualities, so really anybody can become a leader. And we defined social justice and learned how to make a change in society through both collective and individual action. We spent around that's B Squad, by the way. We spent around 25 hours doing various service field experiences, from conducting community asset assessments in Mission District to serving the Alameda Food Bank, the San Francisco Bay Park, Glide Kitchen, and the Clara House. In addition, we had amazing guest speakers from The Street Sheet, a newspaper that's written by homeless, sold by homeless, for homeless. We also had Berkeley City Council member Chris Worthington, who gave us insight into his work with the National Organization for Women, the NAACP, and his time spent working under famous activist Dolores Huerta. Now, this wasn't all academics. I promise we are teenagers. We spent every morning at 6 in the morning running in the beautiful woods on UC Berkeley's campus. We explored everything San Francisco and Oakland had to offer. We took naps together in class. We danced together, and if you've never seen 87 kids whip a nene at the same time, it's really, really cool. We had our squads, shout out to Trap Floor, and the 6th Floor Girls, and B Squad. And we taped each other because nothing says I love you like slapping a big piece of tape on someone's forehead. I still talk to my best friends from this camp once a week, and so we really forged fantastic relationships. And lastly, I'd really like to share just a few messages my fellow classmates gave me for this presentation, so for you guys. Remy would like to say the most meaningful relationships can be found in the least expected places. And never forget the danger of a single story. We are, after all, human. Alexander shared that we're shaped by our experiences. The best way to become more cultured, more diverse, and more on one accord is to experience everything and everyone around us. In doing so, we're also obligated to share our growth with others so they can, in turn, learn from our experiences. And lastly, I have one more. I wholeheartedly second this one. Louisa said, "What I loved most about CLI was the ability to know that everyone was so kind and had lived through so much, but was willing to speak to people on the street and spend some time with kids they never really met before. We became a really, really big family in the end, and not just peers in the same program. It made her and I see the world as a world that's not confined to super big people making all the changes in society, knowing all the answers, but it's us, as normal human teenagers actually caring about the state of our world." What an idea. Having described both mine and others' wonderful experiences to you guys, all I can do now is thank the Poole family from the bottom of my heart and soul for giving me the opportunity to attend CLI. I grew really close with my classmates and teachers, and I made some of my best friends, both international and domestic. And I learned that, as Ishan put it, we students have an incredible power to make change, whether it's organizing awareness or speaking with the local government. And the more we learn, the more we can use that power. The Poole grant has changed my life and changed something in me for better. I encourage you all to think about what the Poole grant can do for you. Thank you.
All right, so up until now, you've heard about Poole grants, but now we will be talking to you about Paige grants. All right, so this past summer, Sophie, Felicity, Harmon, and I received Paige grants that allowed us to attend week-long programs at Georgetown and UPenn. At my program at Georgetown University in Washington, D.C., I took a one-week introduction course to medicine, where I had 2 lectures every day given by a medical professor, labs, and many trips off campus. We were given a lot of freedom to roam around Georgetown, which was fun because the campus, as you can see, is very close to M Street and Wisconsin Avenues, which are DC's busiest streets. Here you can see the Smithsonian, which we visited during our trip to the National Mall and the Coachland Science Center. And just one quick side note, I thought that it was really interesting because I want to be a surgeon when I grow up. And there was about 150 to 200 kids at this program. And when the question was asked, who wants to be a doctor or go into the field of medicine, all but 2 kids raised their hand. So it was very interesting to be in a setting with peers who are interested in doing the same thing that you are. So here are a few photos from our lectures about topics such as X-rays, global pandemics, the brain, dissection, and many more. On the upper left, you see a photo from our X-ray lecture. On the lower left, you can see a photo from the lecture about why and how the human brain feels fear. And then these two are from our role play lecture, where basically my partner was given a sickness with fake symptoms, and I was supposed to, in just having a conversation with them, find out what was wrong with them without asking any direct medical questions, which is similar to the first 5 minutes that you have when you go to the doctors. But my favorite part of the program were the labs. I learned how to take blood, give an ultrasound, suture a wound, measure heart rate, blood pressure, and blood sugar, give CPR, and other useful skills. My favorite lab was the cadaver lab. So on the second day, we were told that we were going to the cadaver lab after lunch. Now, I thought that this meant we were traveling to the place where actual medical doctors dissect cadavers, which, if you don't know, are dead bodies people who have given their bodies to be researched for science purposes. So when I got there, I was told to put on scrubs and was seated in front of a dead body. And since I want to be a surgeon when I grow up, this program was a phenomenal base to my hopefully long career in medicine. I highly suggest that all of you apply to it, and please stop me in the hall if you have any questions. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sophie. My bad. So the Georgetown Medical Institute was a really fun, exciting, and engaging way to learn more about medicine and to see whether my interest in medicine held up when it came time to do something a little more involved than just watching Grey's Anatomy on my couch, like dissecting a rat or going to the anatomy lab, which, as Tatnall mentioned, is the place with cadavers. So, since the program simulated the daily life of a medical student with a combination of interesting lectures about anatomy, case studies, and practical skills, it was really helpful in confirming my interest in medicine. Some highlights of the program include the lecture that was actually just x-rays of weird things that got stuck in people or that people ate. Like this person on the right just ingested like hundreds of metal filings and nobody knows why. And this is something stuck in a person's diaphragm, also not sure how that happened. Other highlights include trips to Washington, D.C., learning to suture, and saving a dying robotic patient. One unique part of my experience in the program was that at Georgetown, my time there fell on the 4th of July Saturday, so we got extra free time to walk around Georgetown, go shopping, and we even got to see the fireworks from a bridge. That is not fireworks from a bridge, but it was really beautiful. Another great aspect of the Medical Institute was the medical students there that taught us practical skills and guided us through activities, as well as the non-medical students from Georgetown that guided us around campus because we got to ask them questions about their experience at the school, what kinds of things they did when they were our age, and what they liked and disliked about medicine. So overall, I really enjoyed my time at Georgetown. It was a great program with lots of activities packed into just 1 week. And if you have any questions, feel free to send me an email or stop me in the halls. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Felicity P. I'm a senior, and I'd like to begin by quoting my fictional idol, Meredith Grey. Kindergarten, high school, college, med school, residency. It all leads to this moment. Some people can crack under the pressure. Others thrive. Either way, there's nothing left to do. No more studying, no more preparing. Like it or not, the moment has arrived. The only thing left for you to do is show up. All right, so the Georgetown Summer Medical Institute wasn't nearly as intense as an episode of Grey's Anatomy, but it did allow me to experience a little bit of what it's like to be a med student. Sophie and Tatnall did a great job covering the logistics of the program, so I thought I'd talk a little bit more about what actually experiencing the program was like. For me, the most exciting part was how hands-on everything was. At the beginning of the week, the closest I'd ever gotten to being a doctor was dissecting a fetal pig in my bio class, and by the end of the week, I'd had my hand inside a cadaver and learn how to tie sutures. My other favorite part of the week was the people. It was great to meet fellow high school students who shared my passion for medicine and to listen to doctors, nurses, and professors speak to us about their careers. If you have any interest in medicine, or even if you've just watched one too many medical dramas on Netflix, I highly recommend looking into the Georgetown Summer Medical Institute. Feel free to talk to me or email me if you have any questions, and thank you to the Paige family for helping me have this amazing experience. Now Harmon is going to talk to you about his summer at UPenn.
My summer program at UPenn was very similar to the Georgetown program you guys heard of. Instead of being on campus for 1 week, I was engaged in medical lectures and labs for 3 weeks. I stayed in the main quad along with 100 other students in the medical program. Every morning we were engaged in lectures about the medical field, such as the various job opportunities and the vast majority of problems that occur within the field of medicine. This program really helped me solidify my choice of entering the medical field, as I was finally able to engage in hands-on learning using UPenn's vast resources. After morning lectures, we would enter the lab and engage in many different case studies, such as this one where I did a spinal tap, which was taking fluid out of the spine. And then my most memorable experience, however, was being able to work on a cadaver, just like Tadno and the other guys. This was a brain that we dissected out of a human cadaver, and we were able to, this experience helped me realize that the medical field was the right choice for me. After the labs and lectures, we returned to the main quad where we were able to explore the city and go on many different excursions. We did blood draws and IVs, and then we did x-rays on ourselves. I would like to thank the Paige Grant Committee for all its help in making it possible for me to attend this amazing program. If you have any questions or like to talk about the summer program, don't hesitate to send me an email. Now, James Lee will talk about his experience at a lab at Cornell. Thank you.
Sorry, I was just slipping off. So, hi guys, my name is Hi guys, my name is James Lee. I'm a senior. I realize that I'm the last speaker today, and from here I can sort of tell that you guys all want to get out of here. So, no worries. 5 minutes ago, I decided that I'll be sort of using a budget cuts version of my speech, so to speak, which unfortunately leaves out a chunk of what I did, but that stuff's kind of boring anyway, so I'll skip forward. With the Paige Grant last summer, I was able to join a wonderful lab called the Kurpios Developmental Biology Lab at Cornell University. Excuse me. And what this meant was that it was a learning experience in all aspects. For 6 weeks, the grant gave me a chance to immerse myself in a professional lab environment, learn about and conduct a research project, and also sort of mingle with some of the summer college people because the dates mostly overlapped. And as psyched as I was, the experience didn't quite start off incredibly well for a bunch of reasons. This was during the summer, which meant that I had this strange schedule where I just left Taft for summer break, flown back to Seoul, and just like 3 weeks later, I had to fly right back for like a 14.5-hour trip. But instead of flying into JFK, like I normally do, and then taking a taxi to Ithaca, I decided to go through Detroit and take a transfer flight right to Ithaca Airport. And thinking back, that was kind of the wrong choice to make. So I arrived at Detroit. I was kind of exhausted, and I get there. And they gave me the other ticket, the transfer ticket to Ithaca Airport. And I look at it, and first of all, like the ticket's like super sketchy. Like the numbers are all cut off, the ink's all smudged. It kind of just looked like someone took a pen and wrote it on a piece of paper. So that should have been my cue for like what's coming, but I didn't really pick it up then. It said Terminal 25, so I'm like, all right, I'll go to Terminal 25. That's right over there. I don't know if you guys can see in the circle, but like there's nothing there. So when I got there, there was like no terminal. It was just a door with 25, and I just went through. And I get outside, and there's the pavement. And on the pavement is a plane, except that it's really, really small. So like, I guess I'm kind of biased towards like the bigger transcontinental planes, but this one seemed small to a point where it was like kind of unsafe. Like if we hit a bird, like who knows what's gonna happen. And I approached the plane on the pavement, and there's like that super aggressive guy that's like taking the tickets, like he doesn't want to be there. And I'm there like all sweaty, I have my luggage, I have my suitcase with me, and I kind of ask him like, all right, what should I do with my suitcase? And he doesn't really respond, but he looks at me with this like really weird expression, like he has to adjust, like oh, an Asian, look, like that sort of expression, like. And then he goes like, and he looks at my suitcase and he goes like, all right, I don't think we have space for all of that. And I'm like, all of that, like it's one suitcase. And he just shrugs, so we're just standing there and we're just like, all right, so like at a certain point I was kind of just like, all right, so like, what do you want to do now? And then he's like, do you still want the plane ride? I'm like, yeah, that part's never changed. But what we ended up doing was we sort of like squeezed the trunk into the back, and it was like, you know, it was kind of a mess, and like every time we hit turbulence, like the plane dipped like 100 feet, and it was just not a fun experience, but I got there in one piece. And but just a couple of hours later, there it was, Cornell. The campus was actually beautiful. The people were great and awesome, and I just took off a day to sleep off like my jet lag, and then I got to work. And despite the slight downer in the beginning of the trip, everything changed when I got to the lab. I don't think I learned anything like so much in just a period of 6 weeks. And this is the lab, this is the Krypios lab. That's Dr. Krypios who runs the lab. That's Aravind, Aparna, Melissa, and Ian. And as you might be able to see, it was a very interesting and diverse group of people. And the lab was incredibly fun. Like despite the stereotypical like image of like a lab worker just working quietly at his or her bench, like here it was really fun. Like everyone was making jokes and saying a lot of inappropriate things. And but the best part was that they didn't just treat me like another like inexperienced high school intern, but they actually instead they treated me like an actual lab member, to a point where they kind of forgot that I was like a high schooler. Like one day one of the lab members was talking about like her new fire vodka mix and that I should have some, but like I can't, I'm 17. All right. This is some of the work that the lab had going on, and I learned there. I won't go into too much detail, but the gist of it is that I worked with the embryonic stages of the small intestine in mammals. And specifically, I looked at the asymmetrical development of the dorsal mesentery, which is a tissue that's suspended right above the gut tube. And the leftward tilt of the dorsal mesentery is what pushes the counterclockwise rotation of the entire gut, which is actually pretty important in mammals, including humans. So basically, the left side condenses while the right side expands. And a lot is known about the left side biochemical mechanisms of the dorsal mesentery. So you have PITX2, which is a master regulator, and also a transcription factor. A downstream of that would be the Wnt signaling pathway, and a downstream of that would be the CXCL12, CXCR4 chemotactic axis, which is what I sort of looked at. Basically what that was, it was just a chemical attraction between CXCL12 and CXCR4, a receptor and a ligand. So you had a lot of epithelial cells moving around and all that. That's just something that's good. And these are some of the results that I got. The gist of it would be like the expressions of CXCL12 and CXCR4 were expressed heavily on the left ventral side of the dorsal mesentery. This is just a cross-section of a mice embryo with the gut tube below and the dorsal mesentery on top. And coincidentally, that sort of, this attraction is what pushes the development of the arterial and lymphatic vasculature at the gut-specific level as well. So basically, long story short, the Paige grant gave me this wonderful opportunity to just explore. I encourage everyone to just check it out. There aren't many schools where students can get funded to do medical research. And while you're at it, you can learn something new or help somebody in need. I'll be the first to say that I've really benefited from the Paige grant for the last 2 years at Taft. Thanks for listening. Have a good day.